Floyd Mayweather is an American boxing promoter and a former boxer. He has an undefeated record and has won 15 world championships, from the super featherweight to the light middleweight championships. Floyd Mayweather is one of the most lucrative pay-per-view attractions of all times, not just in boxing, but in any sport. He topped the Forbes and Sports Illustrated list with the highest paid athletes in 2012 and 2013, and would do it again in 2014 and 2015. In 2006, he decided to start his own boxing promotion after leaving Bob Arum's Top Rank. He has generated approximately 24 million pay-per-view buys, which would translate to $1.67 billion in revenue throughout his career. But it wasn't always like this. Mayweather was born Floyd Joy Sinclair on February 24th, 1977 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Floyd was born into a family of boxers. His father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., is a former welterweight contender who fought Hall of Famer Sugar Ray Leonard. His uncles, Jeff and the late Roger Mayweather, were professional boxers, with the latter becoming Floyd's trainer eventually, as well as fighting the Hall of Famer Julio Cesar Chavez. Mayweather was born Sinclair, which was his mother's last name, but would go on to change it to Mayweather shortly after. Mayweather had boxing in his blood. However, this didn't mean that they were wealthy boxers. They might have fought a lot of high-level people, but by the time Mayweather was a kid, he had absolutely no money. Between illnesses, parents not being able to manage money, the Mayweather family would not be able to keep any of the money that they would earn. So Floyd had to start from the ground up to make his illustrious career. And not only that, he would go on to have a lot of issues with his family. Mayweather Jr. would say, "I don't remember him ever taking me anywhere or anything a father would do with a son. Going to the park, movies, go get ice cream, etc." To which Mayweather Sr. said, "Even though his daddy did sell drugs, I didn't deprive my son of anything. The drugs I sold was to put food on his table so he could get everything he wanted, and putting it in for him to train to box." However, Floyd Mayweather would still say that he basically raised himself, but would start learning how to box with people around the family, and would go on to achieve an amateur record of 84 wins and 8 losses, winning a National Golden Gloves champion in 1993. They actually nicknamed Floyd Mayweather Pretty Boy, because Floyd Mayweather had relatively few scars on his face because he was so good at dodging punches, a skill that would come in handy for him throughout his entire career. Floyd Mayweather would go on to win a bronze medal in the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta.
I think that, I don't really want to say I won a bronze medal. I think it's best to say I received a bronze medal, because you can't win a bronze if you lost. I'm just going to, take my bronze medal, and go home, it's time for me to turn professional. I can't deal with this amateur boxing anymore.
Where he knocked out fellow newcomer Roberto Apocala in the second round. This time, Floyd Mayweather trained with his uncle, Roger Mayweather, and his father was still imprisoned for illegal trafficking. And in the first 2 years of his career, from 1996 to 1998, Mayweather would actually win most of his fights by knockout or TKO. Floyd Mayweather Jr. in his early pro career got praise from all the boxing world and was touted as a pugilistic prodigy by the media, including the ESPN commentators during his match. And like I said, 2 years into his professional career, Floyd Mayweather would win his first world championship. He won this championship with an 8th round technical knockout after he forced his opponent's corner man to throw in the towel. This would make Mayweather the lineal champion in the division. This would make Floyd Mayweather the fastest Olympian to actually win a world championship from the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. Floyd Mayweather would go on to defend his title to a 27-0, at which point he would see an opportunity, a vacant WBC lightweight championship, in his first fight as a lightweight. A match would get scheduled for Mayweather to face the WBC's #1 ranked lightweight, Jose Luis Castillo. Despite both fighters actually meeting at 135, by the time the match came around, Luis Castillo was considerably heavier.
Luis Castillo to claim the lightweight crown.
Mayweather has all he can handle.
For the winner by unanimous decision and new lightweight champion of the world, the undefeated Pretty Boy.
Mayweather would go on to defeat Castillo, winning the vacant The Ring and lineal lightweight championship titles with a 12-round unanimous decision in the MGM Grand Garden Arena in front of a crowd of 7,000 people. With this win, Mayweather would go on to become the first lineal lightweight champion since Pernell Whitaker. Even though Mayweather won by decision, a very pro-Castillo crowd would boo as he celebrated. However, he would silence all the doubters as he would beat Castillo once again for a record now of 29-0. And once again, Mayweather would move up a weight class to welterweight on November 19, 2005, as he fought a non-title match, which was a rarity at the time for Mayweather, but also this would be the first time he would be fighting at 147 pounds against the welterweight Sharmba Mitchell. Mayweather would go on to knock him out with a right hand straight to the body. After this win, Floyd Mayweather wouldn't stop fighting for championships for much longer, because his next match would be on April 8, 2006, as he defeated Sav Yudath for the IBF welterweight title in a unanimous decision. Plans for the match had been jeopardized because Yudath lost the WBA and WBC and ring welterweight titles to Carlos Baldomir in 2006. But not to worry, because Mayweather would go on to beat Carlos Baldomir as well. And as I'm sure you're aware, Mayweather has a pattern going on. He shows up, beats everyone in the weight class that he wanted to face, and then goes on to move up a weight class. This time facing his toughest challenger yet, Oscar de la Hoya. Mayweather's next match had been long anticipated, a fight against the 6th division champion and WBC light middleweight title holder, Oscar de la Hoya. De la Hoya's belt was on the line, which required Mayweather to come up and move up a weight class, meaning that Mayweather once again was outweighted by Oscar de la Hoya. This bout would go on to set records for most buys, with a 2.4 million households watching the fight, breaking the record of 1.95 million households watching the fight that Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson II had set. This is about $120 million in revenue generated in pay-per-view, another record, including a percentage of $58 million for the bout for De La Hoya, the highest purse ever for a fighter. Mayweather would actually go on to make $25 million in this fight. One time, Floyd Mayweather Sr. actually negotiated to train Oscar de la Hoya and be in his corner, but de la Hoya decided to train with Freddie Roach, and Mayweather would go on to win this fight, capturing the WBC title.
The match would lift Mayweather to levels of fame reached by very few fighters.
Forbes magazine reported that you are the world's highest paid athlete.
From Dancing with the Stars to mingling with Obama, Pretty Boy Floyd has become a household name.
Tonight, what round was it? Round 4. I think you saw more action in these 4 rounds than you saw value for money in Floyd's whole career. I'll just leave it at that.
Floyd Mayweather's on a completely different planet.
It was a clinic. Mayweather embarrassed Hatfield.
Well, he's one of the great pure boxers who ever lived.
Six-time world champion, 5 different weight class, 20 championship fights. I fought the best from all over the world, from De La Hoya to Ricky Hatton, and the list goes on and on. I have nothing else to prove.
Floyd would retire for the first time, but to be honest, there really wouldn't be a point in calling this a retirement, because he would come back time and time again after saying that he has contemplated retirement. He would say he didn't know if he had anybody else to face after every fight, but if the money was right, Floyd would come back for a fight. This happened with Juan Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Victor Ortiz, Miguel Cotto, Robert Guerrero, Canelo Alvarez, and Marcos Maidana twice. Floyd Mayweather would get incarcerated.
Mayweather Jr., 10F 17455.
Once again, no pictures, just hearsay and allegations. And I signed a plea bond.
And we continue our breaking news of the Mayweather incarceration. Boxing champ, former Olympian Floyd Mayweather Jr. just surrendered in a Clark County courtroom.
But only 2 months later, he would be a free man. and would get back to living the life of luxury he has had all these years. Some of the few things he was enjoying were his Miami Beach mansion. This is a 3-story waterfront home on Palm Island, an artificial island in Biscayne Bay. This is one of Miami's most upscale neighborhoods. He's actually often seen rollerblading around the neighborhood when he's in town. The decor is very clean with a color palette of light tones, just gives a vacation resort vibe. And Mayweather doesn't have to be in vacation to do so. He can do this every single day. It has beautiful views made from glass from the floor to the ceiling. Floyd's mansion was bound to be fully equipped with a fitness center to maintain his excellent physique at all times. The property is a 10,800 square foot home divided into 9 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms. However, the outdoor area is undoubtedly the nicest part of the house. This property has a spectacular ocean view with a private dock to accommodate boats up to 100 feet. Floyd Mayweather would shell out $18 million for this imposing home. But this isn't the only house Mayweather has, as I assume you suspected. Floyd also has a Beverly Hills mansion. This house is actually quite unique. It cost Floyd Mayweather $25 million to buy it. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite majestic on the inside as well. Floyd has a huge wine cellar in the house that he makes sure to show off on his social media because, you know, gotta represent the money team. This property is estimated to be around 15,000 square feet and has great views of Beverly Hills. Of course, this house is also equipped with quite a gym, which honestly looks like something that major league stadiums would have. Once again, one of the most interesting things about the house, it's the pool. It has a way of catching the eye that nothing else in the house does. That is because the pool is surrounded by marble and granite that gives it quite a look, making this house unique and stand out. Not only that, but when you go down to the basement, you actually find a cinema and what Floyd turned into also a snack bar. This overall is one of the most amazing houses I've seen a boxer own. But Floyd would never stop it there, right? He has to go on and get a palace, or the closest thing to a palace he could find. This so-called palace is almost 22,000 square feet located in a lot of 1.4 acres. This has to be one of the most luxurious houses that Floyd Mayweather has because it makes everything look grandiose and imposing. His closet alone is like 12 times his size. Also posting an incredible indoor pool with several televisions so he can watch all the games or boxing matches or whatever he's watching on those TVs around the world. But the real art of it is in the backyard, because this property feels like a castle with a fountain right in the middle. There is no doubt that this mansion is one of the most imposing mansions out there in the world. And Floyd only needed to drop a small $10 million on it. Alright, but let's talk about Floyd Mayweather's car collections now. Floyd Mayweather has so many cars that honestly, I'm just gonna do a speed round here so I don't spend half of the video just going over his cars. Floyd has a $155,000 Mercedes G63, a $160,000 Mercedes Maybach GLS, a $200,000 Bentley Flying Spur, a $205,000 Bentley Continental GT, a $215,000 Ferrari Portofino, a $220,000 Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, a $225,000 Lamborghini Urus, a $240,000 Ferrari 458 Italia, a $250,000 Bentley R-Notch T, a $260,000 Ferrari GTC4 Lusso, a $280,000 McLaren 650S, a $300,000 Ferrari 599 GT Fiorino, a $340,000 Rolls-Royce Wraith, a $300,000 Rolls-Royce Cullinan, a $360,000 Rolls-Royce Dawn, a $307,000 Lamborghini Aventador, a $460,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom, a $2 million Bugatti Veyron, and an incredible Ferrari Enzo, a car so rare that it's considered one of the most sought-after cars for collectors. This is why the price can reach over $4 million. But his most expensive cars are Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita, a supercar that is basically made all out of carbon fiber, which makes it extremely hard to make. Therefore, there are just 2 of these in the world, and this one costs about $4.8 million. It is estimated that Mayweather has over 100 cars. These are just the most relevant that we were able to talk about here. When it comes to private jets, Floyd Mayweather has 2 private jets. A Gulfstream G650, one of the most modern, fastest, and highest range aircrafts out there in the market today, with it allowing Floyd Mayweather to travel 8,000 miles in just one trip. This is enough to take you from continent to continent, which is extremely rare in the private flight industry. This private jet costs around $70 million. Floyd Mayweather also has quite a few businesses, being the owner of TMT and Mayweather Promotion, which essentially is a company in charge of producing and promoting all his fights, similar to what Rob Dyrdek did with Super Jacket. But despite being the undisputed champion of boxing luxury, some people still didn't consider Floyd the undisputed champion of boxing.
Yes, but even if you retire with a perfect record, if you don't fight Pacquiao, then people will say he didn't take on the other best. Whether you're 1 and he's 1A or the other way around, they need to fight.
Mayweather would face, at this time, arguably the biggest fight he had ever had, Manny Pacquiao. Many observed that the match failed to live up to expectations, and Manny Pacquiao told the media that he was limited in the fight due to an injured right shoulder, which required surgery. Additionally, Pacquiao's camp had not requested a cortisone injection, which is allowed by the USDA, but rather a last-minute Toradol injection, which was declined by the Nevada Athletic Commission. Mayweather told ESPN that he would be open for a rematch once Pacquiao recovers from his shoulder. However, Mayweather would go on to change his mind and decline the rematch. And that, unbeknownst to us, would be the last time Floyd Mayweather would actually be in a real fight at a 48-0. And then he would bring Andre Berto to collect his 49th win, and for Berto to come and collect a $4 million payday. Mayweather's purse was $32 million. Early industry sources reported that the fight drew 550,000 buys, but later on, the sources indicated it was more around 400,000 buys, generating around $28 million, and this was the lowest number of buys that Mayweather had generated in 10 years. The fight also gathered a crowd of 13,395 people, which was also a decrease compared to Mayweather's previous fights. I can safely attribute that to the fact that Mayweather essentially grabbed Berto, but really Berto had no business being in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. He would go on to get $4 million for his appearance, and Mayweather would go on to get his 49th victory and his $32 million. Now Mayweather being 1 win shy of 50, he would want to make this 50th one a special one, the most special one yet. However, he had to make sure he would win in the first place. So Mayweather would start thinking about a comeback on April 2016 as rumors of Mayweather Promotions were filing trademarks for TBE 50 and TMT 50, which was a subtle hint that Mayweather was going for his 50th win. So Mayweather needed a draw. He needed somebody that was a big enough name so that people would care to watch them fight, but also he couldn't be great at boxing, or at least worse than Floyd Mayweather. At this point, Floyd Mayweather would go on to make a genius move. Other rumors started spreading of a fight between Mayweather and MMA star Conor McGregor. However, Dana White would go on to dismiss all the rumors about a fight happening because Conor McGregor was still under contract to fight for the UFC. Conor would beg and plead to Dana White to allow him to fight this fight, but Dana would keep his stance and would actually invite Floyd Mayweather to come in and fight in the UFC in a boxing match for $25 million. However, it's pretty obvious that Floyd Mayweather wasn't gonna take on this fight because $25 million at this point for Floyd were nothing. Floyd has stopped making $25 million purses 5 years ago. And eventually, Dana White would backpedal on his stance on the fight, saying that he wouldn't let Conor lose out on so much money, with Mayweather having a guaranteed purse of $100 million. Definitely not a far cry from the $25 million that Dana White had offered. Conor McGregor was guaranteed $30 million. They would go on to fight in front of a crowd of 14,623 people, and Floyd Mayweather would win via knockout in the 10th round, surpassing Rocky Marciano and settling the record for the longest active unbeaten streak in a professional career at 50-0. Mayweather said after the fight,
"Your legacy
Will you fight again? If somebody comes and says, here's another $300-400 million, we know you love money, we know you love fighting. You promised Al Heyman this was it, but could you be lured back?
This was my last fight tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My last fight, for sure. Tonight was my last fight, for sure. Tonight, I chose the right dance partner to dance with. Conor McGregor, you're a hell of a champion. And to the country of Ireland, we love you guys.
The Nevada State Athletic Commission announced a life gate of $55 million, which was the second largest gate ever in combat sports. Do you remember that one thing that Mayweather said? This is my last fight tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Well, nowadays, Mayweather still fights exhibition matches as he runs his empire. Who can blame him? He's arguably the most successful boxer of all time, both financially and in the ring. The reason why I say arguably is because Mike Tyson might be better. I actually made a video about the story of Mike Tyson and how he would end up going broke. And this might happen to Floyd Mayweather as well. So make sure you go and watch that video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!
Ballin' now, skirt down, all of these diamonds soap. Bottom for me, but they're yours now. You could drink it, but take it slow. Ballin' for you, falling for you.